We got Colin in the building. What up, Colin? Welcome to Big Brain Podcast.
Take
nice
two.
to have you here. Take two, by the way, just like you said. Colin, yeah, I just wanted to talk to you about music. I know you're in the industry. I wanted to know, what does it take nowadays to become a top class artist? How do you just not fall into the the, the everyone category? If that makes sense.
Interesting. Let's backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
So, what do you consider what is success as an artist now? What are people saying are you trying to be the best rapper alive? Are you trying to be, are you just trying to pay bills? What do people see as the best?
When I think of a successful, best artist, I think of people like I love Drake. I'm a huge Drake fan, and I see someone who not only has his music, super popular for it, knows what he's doing, and also runs a business on the side. So he's not fully dependent on his music. He knows how to stay relevant. He knows how to stay in the game and always change it up and keep up with, what people want. And the opposite of that would be the Island Boys, for example.
Yeah, we'll talk about them.
Not the artist that just shines for 15 minutes and then just vanishes. So what are they doing different?
Well, I mean, those are two really different.
Yeah.
You got Drake and the Island Boys. So the way I see it is, which we were kind of getting into earlier before we started, is someone like Drake, that's an industry cat. He's been in, what was it, Degrassi and other kind of stuff before, and he's learned to navigate himself, to put himself in positions to succeed. I mean, that guy is Drake's in his own lane. Respect. But yeah, we were talking about the Island Boys. It's like if you get that 15 minutes of fame, it's how you act afterwards, to create a business or create some kind of idea to keep it going, which I don't think they could do. I think they were just really they had a catchy jingle, and then they tried to write it. And I think it just ends badly. And a lot of people have this misconception, once you get that money, that it's you're good. And it's no, I don't know, you guys, the insurance on a Tesla is what? $5,000 and up? So
It can be, yeah.
I don't know. It's it's an interesting ride, I'll tell you that.
For sure. I agree with that. I mean, I feel like, yes, the Island Boys and Drake they're polar opposites. I know artists, once they, pick up that attention and they get a hit, it comes with a lot of fame and a lot of money. Can you talk a little bit about how that money trickles down to the artist himself? Because I know if I'm out there buying albums, 100% of that is not going to the artist.
That's correct.
So how do people get owned like that, or how is this supposed to be?
This is the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So artists aren't making a lot off their records.
Okay.
Anymore. So if you want to take me, for example, since I do it all myself, I find a distributor like DistroKid, TuneCore, something that's public facing,
Yeah.
and I pay a fee, so I'm instantly paying up front to be able to upload my music, and then once I upload my music, I would say, since I'm not signed to a label, no one's getting an off the top of that. And then the management that I work with, they don't take a cut of my music. I own my music. But the distributor does take a small percentage. I don't know the exact percentage, but they're taking off the top. And then
Distributor being Spotify, Apple Music, and whatnot, right?
well, so that I was getting to them
Okay.
next. So essentially, the distributor is the person who has access, or is the gatekeeper to Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, all of that. So you got to hit them up and be like, "Here's my album." They'll make sure the sound quality is okay. They'll make sure that the cover art is not poor quality, like a selfie or whatever. And they'll make sure it's professionally ready to be sent to these stores. And when they send them to these stores, then that's where Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, that's where they'll take a cut.
Gotcha.
And then when it finally comes around, so DistroKid does pay people out. I'm speaking on that one because that's the one I use the most. But a lot of people don't know that there are companies that will basically hunt around and grab your royalties for you.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like a lot of artists, like especially newer artists, don't know to even register with like the old school like BMI and ASCAP, which are like songwriting associations, where your like songs are documented, registered, and everything's like in there. So like anytime like someone streams it or anytime someone plays it or it's played in the car, or it's played in a bar,
Right.
you perform it live. So like when I was doing my tour and I was performing songs that are like on my Spotify,
Right.
I was getting paid extra because I'm performing those live, and that all gets calculated and documented. I use Song Trust, and I paid a one-time fee, $90 for Song Trust, and they registered me with. Well, I was already registered with BMI, but they find my BMI and all my information. They log all my YouTube videos. They log all my Spotify stats, Apple Music, everything. They find royalties from around the country because people streaming me in Australia, I don't know about. They're
Man.
collecting royalties everywhere.
Right.
So I'll get checks every quarter. You know, they're not huge. That's why I still have a day job, but it's income.
Okay. And I like that you touched on the money part. I'm a big finance guy, so I love the numbers and I love to know how all of those things are structured. So is the typical payment schedule quarterly then?
Yeah,
Like four times a year?
4 times a year.
Is that common for any artist?
It's
Or depending on
you. So I mean, if you're obviously like industry cats,
Yeah.
like their quarters are probably a lot stricter, kind of like corporations, like banks and stuff. They have quarters as well, where they have to meet like quarterly deadlines. Like the music industry is very similar with that. You know, people release specific times because certain seasons, certain things are coming out this time, and you're gonna release a specific album. Like, oh, it's about to be summer. We're gonna release like a more upbeat, like something you can play in the summer kind of
Right.
thing. So that's why you'll see a lot of that stuff is kind of like trendy. But like again, you know, music is something we can put it out every day now,
Right,
and you'll
right.
see a lot of artists take advantage of that. Like I like NBA YoungBoy a lot, and NBA YoungBoy has a great following, and he surprise drops mixtapes, dude, and they do such great numbers. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
And he doesn't care what quarter it is. He doesn't care what time it is. It's just
Just
like
drops
let's
it.
let's drop some music. And I'm excited. I'm trying to get back in that realm, and like that's why I'm with all my new content I've been saving up. It's like, man, just when it's time, people are gonna be like, "What? You just dropped a whole album?" It's like, yes, I've been preparing.
Hey,
I've been
I love
I've been
that.
patient. You know what I mean?
love
And
that.
that's what I feel like a lot of the smart cats do.
Okay.
Like I don't feel like a lot of people do it off. You can't be sporadic with it. You know, it has it's chess, not checkers.
Okay.
A lot of people want that bag. A lot of people want that, you know, that come
I
up.
don't doubt it.
Yeah.
Everyone out there trying to get it.
Yeah, I want the bags too.
Hey, for sure.
Give me the bags.
Hey, it's all about I've been really big on motivation and discipline lately.
Yeah, I seen you, man. You're working out every day, dude. Make me feel stupid.
Not even.
I look at my.
You're working out in the booth, man.
Yeah, no,
We all got our
You know, since my knee went down
yeah.
playing soccer, I've been it, and I'm trying not to use it as an excuse, but like sometimes I just can't. You know,
Hey, it's
can't
like
go
that
too hard
sometimes.
on it. You
It's
know,
like
I'm
that
getting
sometimes.
I'm getting old.
I get
About to do
that.
shows again. I gotta have my body right. Gotta keep my mind right.
It's important. If your mind's not right, I'm sure you probably won't thrive in this type of industry, right? Because I know there's a lot of
Mental health.
animosity, I heard.
Mental health is everything, man. That's why I feel like a lot of people don't actually get as messed up as they do, like
Interesting.
saying their songs. You know what I mean? Like Future, I know that dude does not like. I don't think he's popping pills and
think-
drinking as
I
much as he
think you're right.
says because I mean you wouldn't be able to function with his lifestyle. Like
Yeah.
I mean
that's too much.
I know for me back in the day when I would do stuff like that, that puts me in sleep mode. I'm not doing anything. You know, I'm not productive.
You're not as productive.
So you got to think like a lot of these cats, like I think they're talking. Well, they're talking present, but I think a lot of they're talking their past. You know what I mean? And I think that it sways people the wrong way sometimes.
I see a lot of that in songs nowadays, you know, reference to not so good things, you know.
We can say it, man. Drugs, women,
the whole 9 yards.
yeah, whatever, man.
Do you feel
It's rock
like,
and roll.
Is there a reason you feel like people want to hear about that stuff? Do they feel like
I
that's
feel like
the dream life or something?
I mean, it's not the dream life. I can tell you that. It's really not that cool, man. You can't do a bunch of drugs and tour. It's just really hard. Your body just it's
I'm sure.
at least not me. I had to sit down. I know from doing all that stuff, but I think. I mean, that's always been like I mean, I remember back in the day, like songs like by My Chemical Romance and songs that were more like in the emo genre, like would talk about things that are not necessarily healthy, but that was stuff that I was going through. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Not that I wasn't listening to like hip hop too, but like that for me, like I don't know, I feel sometimes people just want to hear sad shit and stuff that people have went through.
Yeah.
Maybe to feel better about themselves, maybe to relate or find some kind of like you know, like hope or something. But I do think it's gotten a lot darker than how music used to be.
Right.
I feel like, especially since there's so much more access and people are able to tell their stories, you have a lot more different, you know, stories, you know, whether they be sad or happy.
I'm curious, is it possible for the label to have any say in the message you put out there, or is that
Absolutely.
all up to you? They can?
Of course, but
Wow.
they won't actually like tell you can't do this. I'm sure they'll just like find ways of saying like we like this, but like you should change this.
Right. If you don't do that, this clause right here.
Yeah, or like
it's gonna bite
they'll
you
like
back.
build you up to like, or like they'll be like give you a positive and a negative. Like, hey, this is great. It's gonna sell this, but you should change this.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just a little, because I hope, at least that I feel, a lot of artists nowadays are trying to take control of their own message and their own brand.
Yeah.
But it's an industry. It's, you know, it's just like any other industry. There's a lot of money and stuff that goes into it that I feel it's not as genuine as it could be.
I feel that.
I feel the message has been lost a little bit.
Hey, it's the world we live in nowadays, man.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
hopefully we
tough,
pull
man.
out of it.
Shoot.
Hopefully we pull out of it. I wanna know, and this is something I've been curious about. I know any business you run, there are costs you incur. How much does it cost to be an artist?
Man.
And I don't know if it's different across the spectrum.
Yeah.
For sure, when you grow, you probably have more expenses. But say I wanted to be a musician, you know, today. What kind of things can I expect? Is it expensive to get started?
Yeah, I like that.
You
That's a
speak on
good
that a little
question.
bit?
You can look at it through like two different realms,
Sure.
right? So if like if we're playing big money with like a label, right? We'll say we'll take like $1 million after tax. What, 500,000, something like that.
Out here in Cali, no doubt.
Yeah. So we're already cutting that in half.
Yeah.
And then we'll say, boom, some finder's fee or whatever is going to go to a manager. We're left with 250,000, right?
Sheesh.
That's usually what an artist has. Now, a lot of artists will go and take that money, buy their parents' crib, buy jewelry, buy a car, do whatever.
Right.
Little do a lot of people know that is a loan. So this is not, we're not giving you
Interesting.
this money. We are using this money to market you.
Right.
Or whatever you choose to do with it is how we're, you know, it's yours. You can go buy that car, dude. Like that's your money. You know what I mean? So like a lot of people now, they're like, because a lot of people have learned the lesson. They're like, cool, I'm gonna get this 250 and I'm gonna invest it, and I'm gonna put it in something smart. Oh shit, bomb going on? I'm scared. Scared me.
Oh snap!
Oh shit.
They found out.
Nah, man, talking too much truth. Yeah, I was on a good one. They tried to cut me off. So let's see, where was I at? We're breaking down 250,000. A lot of people go spend it arrogantly. A lot of smart people now go invest, or they'll turn it into marketing, or turn it into a smart feature. Right, $250,000. You use
Smart
like
feature being like an artist. you
yeah,
do or
like
something? Okay.
so like now I'm on a major label. Who else on my label can we get for maybe a discount where I still have to put money up because they're artists, so you have to have respect. But like let's say I'm on Def Jam, and if we do a song with 2 Chainz, that would be summer poppin', boom, we're good.
For sure.
That's a smart investment.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? But a lot of people will be like, well, I want to work with Future, but your brand doesn't align with Future. You know what I mean? Or
yeah.
like, so there's a lot of like decisions that have to be made, and
see
this
that.
I feel like it's also, if you leave it up to the artist, we will fuck it up. We will fuck it up. We need to have people around us. I swear they on me, bro. I need to disappear right now,
Alexa,
bro.
stop.
They need. Oh man, they on me.
That's my bad. I forgot
If
to tell Alexa.
if
to
I go out tomorrow, man, y'all know this is the last thing last podcast I'm on, bro.
QC, we're sorry.
Yo. Oh man, oh dude, what'd you get me into?
No.
Nah, I'm just playing. That's cool though. We on a good one, man. I think it's cool because. All right, so let's revert to think like an artist like me.
Okay.
What kind of costs do I incur? I'm taking on everything right now. So if I want to book a venue and do a show, I'm paying the flat rate for the venue, right? I'm buying the merch, so I'm investing in t-shirts and design and doing all that, so I can have shit to sell at the show,
Sure.
right? I'm doing all the music, so you got to think about
Right.
the time I invest into it. Then you got to think simple shit like gas money, me
Hey.
getting to the show.
For sure.
That's all that is on my
I like that
expense
you're
sheet.
breaking it down like
it's
that,
it's
'cause it's
crazy.
all costs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and then you got to think about it like this. So I don't let a lot of people edit my videos, my music videos. I edit all of my own
Really?
videos.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I don't like how people make me look.
Hey, I mean, you are the business. you
Yeah, I know, and that
And you're the mastermind.
I really like keeping it very like to my brand, which I feel like it set me back, and I can kind of get
Really?
into that because I feel like I should put out more content, which is coming, but that's
Okay.
all the whole thing. So
For
like,
sure.
so like the independent artist that doesn't have a lot of like a lot of backing, like it's all us, So from everything, so like I'm paying my rent, I'm paying my electric bill, I'm paying my Wi-Fi so I can get online and I can
For sure.
download instruments and do whatever. So you really like it's a whole different game. But what's better for me doing it like this is I'm incurring all those costs now. So when someone comes with a big check,
You're ready for it.
I'm good. There's not a lot of money we need to spend because I can do most of the work.
Gotcha.
If we just need the tools, we just need the ecosystem and like some good people around, and like I can take care of business. Like I only need something small.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I've turned it into an all-stop shop. Like I design my own website. Like I've
like
done
that.
everything.
I like
Yeah,
that,
you got to, because if not, you're gonna come out. That the expenses you're talking about, that's where all the expenses come out. A lot of people
Really?
busting money on studio time. Studio time is a waste of time unless you are going to the studio and you've already written your verse and your chorus and you are just laying shit down. If you're going in there to like smoke and drink with your friends and come up with a song idea, you're wasting time and you're wasting money. Engineers back there collecting cake, like I don't care. Y'all ain't even worried about it. Y'all got money? Cool, spend this. Yeah, that's the
I
thing.
can
That's
see
why. And I do like if someone wants me a feature and they want me to go to the studio, I'll do it. You know what I mean? But most time, I want to be in my crib. I want to be
For sure.
alone. I want to have some water, maybe a joint, and I just want to be by myself.
For sure. Interesting.
Yeah.
How long have you been when would you say you're I'm officially an artist? I'm officially doing this.
Oh man, what makes something official, dude?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Like I've done big shows when I was young.
You want to say more than 5 years, right?
Yeah, I would say. Well, I'm 28 now. I'm gonna be
Okay.
29 in October, and I would say at least since 17 is where I really started doing live shows and could
Okay.
go from state to state
Okay.
and be like, I'm not worried. Like I could go from this show to this show to this show and not be like, how am I gonna pay my bills? Like I was able to navigate probably around 17. But I would say what really made me official was probably not till I had a website. Honestly.
Why do you say that?
Cause man, I just for the longest time, like I never had one, and I don't know. I feel like now it's like official.
Okay.
Like I had an LLC for the longest because I knew I had to have that, and like business checking or whatever. But like
I like that.
when I had the website, that's when it was like, yeah, no, I'm legit.
Now you're established.
Yeah.
Okay. LLC happened. You've been doing your thing, but then the website came along, and then that was the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Well, when I did the LLC,
Yeah.
I had bigger ideas. I had bigger plans to be like this, which I'm not saying it's impossible. Just like record label conglomerate, and
That's a good first step.
it is. But I don't know, man. I don't want to deal with a lot of these artists. I'm enough. I'm enough.
Oh,
I'm
gotcha,
enough.
gotcha.
I'm enough trouble as it is. Getting somewhere on time, man. Getting me to do all this, like it's tough sometimes, Especially because I got my kid too.
I get that.
He everything for
I
me.
get that.
So
The reason why I asked that question is you could just like move your finger. It's still recording. There you go.
how'd you do that?
My watch.
What?
Bro, we work it out.
How'd you do that for real? You just flashed it?
Yeah, you could unlock your Mac with your Apple Watch.
And you learning
If it's
me
if
today,
it's
dog.
close, you know?
Don't tell nobody I don't know that.
It's
If
a
anybody
secret.
asks, I know everything.
We don't let people know about that.
That's crazy.
The reason why I asked how long you've been doing it is someone who's interested in getting into the music industry or is just getting started, I think it would be a good thing to know how much am I going to get out of pocket to get started in this industry. If you were to, and I don't know if you have something like this, because You know, being a finance head, I just can't stop thinking about this stuff. Do you have like a paper or like a sheet or an Excel, you know, document that goes through what you spend as an artist? And do you have like an average every month that you know you're gonna get out of pocket for just for operating your business?
So to be honest, something
Yeah.
like the music industry,
Yeah.
man, I got like scratched notes, like, you know what I mean, a notebook
Yeah.
full. But as far as like, man, business, it's also quick,
For
and that's
sure.
why it can happen overnight.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Okay.
like when expenses come, like say I get a call from Baby Coach and he's like, "Come to Atlanta," it's like plane ticket,
Oh,
expense.
right then and
Did I
there.
plan that month?
Probably
No.
not.
Did I do it? Yes.
Okay.
You know, those are those last minute, you know, situations.
Oh, so you would say it's like sporadic. One
Yeah,
month
you
could
have to be.
just-
You have see if you're actually gonna sign up for this, and this
Okay.
is something you actually want to do, and
Yeah.
you're trying to like be a brand, and you're trying to be
Yeah.
in the music industry, Billboard awards, like whatever. You got to be ready to sign up for some serious investing,
Interesting.
some serious out of pocket with little to no return. Literally, it has to be the will, and your dream and your goal. You have to sacrifice so much. Like
Interesting.
people are like, well, why don't you just, you know, stop? You have a good job. You have a family. You have all this. It's like, man, do you know how much I've put into this already?
Right.
If I gave up, it would be hurting my own feelings. Like it would be hurting my own
And
pockets.
your wallet too, yeah.
It's like I put thousands. If you ask my parents, they would have oh my God, they probably have a collection. Because every time I tell them, they're like, God, you invested, you just put more money into it. And they support me. And they're like, they know it's crazy. And they like, I don't know. Yeah, I've come out of pocket wild.
Okay.
And you got to be willing to. And that also means you have to have a reserve. So a lot of people that like, that want to start investing, like, I do not recommend trapping. A lot of people do it, you know what I mean? But
Right.
it's not the smartest way because it's easy to get caught up, you
For
know,
sure.
and then you out a bunch of money.
For sure.
Like I think honestly, I think working a day job
Yeah.
for a while, staying in the cut, perfecting your craft, and then putting something out, like taking that patience and that time, instead of just being like, I'm a rapper now. What do I need to spend? Where do I spend it?
So the average Joe who's gonna look at this and knows he wants to be a rapper, and he's about to quit his job because that's his dream and aspiration, what would you tell him right now?
Ooh.
He's just getting started. He's like, oh yeah, I know I want to do this. I believe in myself. I'm gonna quit my job, commit full time to this. What would you tell that person?
I would say I'm not going to say no because I actually think that's
Interesting.
I've done it. You know what I mean? And I've had to circle back. You know.
I mean,
But-
tell us about the what
I'm-
you would not do then.
So I mean,
Yeah.
what I tried to do was like, man, I was in St. Louis. I was working at the spaghetti factory.
Yeah.
Tired of getting spaghetti sauce all on me,
Interesting,
all kind
okay.
of stuff. Yeah, but it's near the arch, so it was really cool, man. It
Okay.
was a nice spot. I ain't gonna
Okay.
complain. Shout out Spaghetti Factory.
Shut up.
Noodles. I was I don't know, man. I was just tired of it, and I was living with a videographer at the time who's a really talented dude, man. He just was disciplined, super smart, like
That's my language.
super
I like that.
smart, but just not disciplined.
Okay.
And he was just he didn't work. He didn't have to work a job. He was just always able to come up with money, whether it be little like weed sales here and there, videography, like whatever. And I was like, man, I'm busting 9 hours and making the same amount as you, and I come home and I got spaghetti sauce all over
Tell
me
me
and
about
stuff.
it.
It's not tight. And so one day I was like, you know what? I got a camera. Like I can go make some money. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna work for myself. You know. And so my main idea was I was gonna do videography for real estate, and I was gonna start doing videos. And so I just asked the manager at my apartment complex. I'm like, yo, boom, I'm on my own. Let's quit my job.
Dang, just like that.
I'm trying to.
Sheesh.
Oh yeah, I did them dirty. I walked out on like a dinner rush and everything.
Oh, no.
I just couldn't handle it anymore, man. Like, so I went to my apartment manager. I was like, man, you know, let me just give me a shot. You don't got to pay me nothing. Just let me shoot this video. Boom. He let me do it. Bam. I was like, I'm in the real estate game now.
Just in
What's
it.
up?
Right.
So then I was like, okay, that's one gig. I got like, he ended up giving me like $200. I booked like one gig after, maybe like 50, 60 bucks. I was taking anything. Using Craigslist, using whatever I could to kind of promote myself. But then I was like, okay, where the money? You know,
That's
where's the
gonna be a
money at?
problem, yeah.
And so then it was also about filling time. That's the crazy part. When you go to work for yourself, it's really easy to get stuck in not doing anything.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
if you put yourself on a schedule and like you're on like a regiment and like
Right.
you know, like I work out at this time, I eat at this time. I'm searching for leads from like 10 to 4, and then you know, if you're breaking it down like that, you can find a method. You can keep yourself busy and
For
actually
sure.
be really progressive.
For
For
sure.
me, I was not good at it. I could not stay disciplined. I just wanted to create. I just found myself like, you know, I'm not lazy. I'm better like in my element of like making song or like making art, you know? So that's where I was like, you know, I feel like I failed because like I wasn't disciplined enough to focus on like the bread, because there is not a lot of money in music, like especially with quarterly like checks. Like
Right.
you can't expect that to pay your rent every month. Like
Interesting.
every 3 months is when you get a check, and after all the cuts that from all like the
Yeah,
from all that, you're
I
not
can
getting
see
that
it.
much money. And unless you're popping and like you get paid for shows, see, that's a lot of thing. Artists aren't getting paid for shows that much anymore unless you're bringing people.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because like, who are you? Like, there's 100 rappers that come up to my venue every day and tell me that they want to do a show. Why should I let you do a show?
Right.
Well, I can bring 40 people because I'm trending right now on this, and they're like, okay, that means I'll sell booze and I'll do
Right.
this, that, whatever. That's why I strategically book my shows based off Spotify results.
Wow.
Spotify is the cheat code, man.
Really?
You get that artist dashboard for Spotify. Artists get that artist dashboard for Spotify. Literally
Other
plug.
platforms don't offer something like that?
Apple Music is working on it, but
Okay.
I should put that in somewhere.
sure,
I don't know.
yeah.
I feel like I have a way I can get that up to somebody.
Interesting.
But yeah, so Spotify lets me know I got to book. Everyone's listening in Colorado. Let's book a show in Colorado.
Wow.
And then you're able to have leverage over the venue. It's like, will you pay my flight? Because look, I have this many people that listen to me here. I can, if I sell tickets, I can at least get 15 of them to come out. You know what I mean? You'll make this. You buy my flight. There's ways we can negotiate now,
Right.
but a lot of people don't know that you can use those and like it's numbers.
Right.
It's a numbers game now.
Right.
Like it doesn't. Talent is. We were talking about luck versus skill
Yeah.
earlier. I'm
Yeah.
glad I'm glad
Right.
that came full circle
Right.
because it's definitely more it's more luck
You think
and
so?
money. I feel like right now. But you also have to be very skilled. So like I feel like if you're luck, that's why I bring up the Island Boys, because if you get that luck and you
Yeah.
get that moment, but you ain't got no talent, boom, the next thing is up. The next thing is up, bro. They're looking for the next weird guys with clout or like the next thing, bro.
Yeah.
It's that quick, man. That's why it's like even if it's bad publicity, I feel like people are trying to stay relevant however they can. Blueface.
I agree.
Blueface is great. He doesn't care because y'all are we still talk about it,
We sure
and that
do.
gets him paid. So
That
like you have to think
attention.
about it from a money standpoint. People are not making money off of like, you don't see a lot of these cats even really doing shows. Like they're really just like trending on social media, and that's how they get paid. So like, yeah, that's a big thing. I don't know.
Interesting. If you had to put it in terms of percentages, luck and skill, would you say it's 50-50?
I'd say the luck is 20% because you have to have this. I feel like you have to have the skill to get that luck. I feel like you have to be in a certain place to get that opportunity.
Right.
Because people think like it really doesn't happen overnight sometimes. You know, like
Sure.
the journey is like you see an artist, blow up overnight, but they probably worked 7 to 10 years before that moment.
Yeah.
Or even like with some of the younger cats, like still working
I
from
heard.
very young ages until they get that moment. No one was just like, I'm gonna be a rapper, and then 3 days later it's
Yeah.
like, whoa, this dude is huge.
Right,
It
no.
takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of getting to know people, getting the
sure.
circle right, getting to know people. That's why doing features with people. Like I linked up with Dizzy Wright, did a feature. That was a smart move, you know. Like just you have to put yourself around people that can put you in those positions. Like I work with a label right now that handles some of the biggest artists in the country. You know what I mean? Like Lil Baby.
Okay.
Lil Baby's huge, man. Shout out
You
Lil
see the
Baby.
label?
And it's like it's that 6 degrees of separation. You know what I mean?
For
You
sure.
got it. And if like the moment comes and you get that luck,
Yeah.
but you don't got that skill,
You won't last.
You ain't gonna last, bro.
You're
You gonna
just the
get ran
next,
over.
You're just the next little funny thing to watch.
You gonna be the next Island Boys or whatever.
Man,
I
that's
think
tough.
that's crazy. I did want to bring something up.
Yeah, what is it?
I got to run into Anderson Silva at the store. I told you about that, right?
Yeah, tell us about that.
I'm not even trying to get into the details of that. Long story short,
Yeah.
shout out Anderson Silva. He was the nicest guy I've ever met. He gave me and my friend Dizzy 2 signed T-shirts. So that was really cool.
That's
Brought me up to his
amazing.
car, gave me a high five and all that.
That's
Told me about
amazing.
his life. Anyway, I wanted to bring that up because this dude Jake Paul is fighting him.
I did not know that.
That was his big announcement,
What?
my G. Yeah.
What?
And it's all coming full circle. How funny
Look
is
at
that?
that.
It's like, man, that shirt's gonna be worth so much money when he knocks him out.
Hey, it for sure will.
You're
Hey,
hearing
I
it
did
now.
not know that.
I got Anderson Silva on this one, man.
Man,
I'm
I
rocking
feel-
with Team Silva,
I
man.
feel like everyone's making a boxing match nowadays. That's what the internet people want.
Yeah, I don't
People
know.
fighting.
I never got into boxing. I was more like martial arts, but I feel like I should get into boxing because no one like. Someone made a funny joke. It was like
Uh-huh.
you can only fight someone like martial arts only comes in handy like if the other person knows martial arts. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of like. So in self-defense, I don't know if it's the best.
For sure, for sure. Okay. Colin, I want to ask you, is there a recipe to these hit songs? Is there like a formula people can follow? If I do this, I make a song at this frequency, say these keywords, am I more likely to get a hit, or is it just hit or miss?
Yeah, there's actually like you can Google it. I think I don't know.
Really?
There's a formula. It's like A plus B equals C. It's like a perfect songwriting thing. Yeah, people do it all the time. That's why you hear a lot of songs sound the same.
Yeah.
I
always
know.
wondered about that.
Yeah, I know. It's I honestly think the right ingredients require the right mood and the
Okay.
right people,
Okay.
and the right idea and concept. Um,
Do you abide by that when you make your songs, or do you just do
oh
what
no,
you
I
feel
can't.
like
You
doing?
can't put Colin in a box, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I feel like
Versatile.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's why I don't like be calling like people are like, are you a rapper? Or you're like, I don't know. Just figuring that out, man.
For sure, yeah.
But I make rap, I make rock, I make alternative, I make all different kind of music, and that's why I don't like. That's why depending on the vibe is kind of how I'll create. Like if I'm in a setting where there's not a lot of instruments and it's like more hip hop producers
Yeah.
and rappers, then yeah, I'll probably be in more like a
Yeah.
a flow kind of mode. But if there's instruments and there's like maybe a way like we can get creative, like that's where I try and like expand and like get outside of the box. That's why the new stuff I'm working on is there's always instruments around.
Oh, that's interesting. So, what's the process like? If at least let's ask you, what's your process like from the inception of a song idea to it's out there to the world? Like, what does that look like step by step?
Interesting. So like, that's crazy because some are boom, they just come to you. You know
Right.
what I mean? And then you start writing, and then that energy gets you to go onto the computer,
Yeah.
and then you either create the beat or you like lay down the guitar, or lay down some kind of drums, and then I use notes to write a lot of my
Hey, if it works, it works.
like a lot of my lyrics because I can't. My handwriting is so bad, and I just like. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like these thumbs, man, they just start going, and I could look at you, and they'll just be like
You
writing.
have that inspiration.
It's sometimes it's like God did. You know what I mean? Like some of those, they're just like God moments, and that's why I just let them go, and I don't question myself, and I don't say, is that weird for me to say? I try and just be like, because a lot of what I used to do is like fit myself into genres or fit myself into lanes, like using specific like jargon or like lingo that like other artists are using, where it's like I may or may not have done that or relate to it. You know what I mean? Like toting guns and like selling drugs, like
For sure.
it's not like I'm relevantly doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I could talk about my past and I can bring some stuff up, but like a lot of the stuff is more like contemporary, like how I'm feeling, like what's going on in the
Okay.
world type stuff. But so I would say realistically, like especially with this album I've been working on,
Yeah.
I've had songs in my head for like years. You know what I mean? Like just like hooks that I'm like, I know this is gonna make it. I
And
just
then
need the right opportunity to like present it. And like I finally did it. And like I remember it was like I had the lyrics written forever, so that was not the concern. It was getting the music down so I could record the lyrics.
Gotcha.
And then when I finally like, you know, I was down bad for a little bit. When I finally had an opportunity to like record instruments, I recorded the guitar first, and I was like, that's all I needed. And then I laid the lyrics on top of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's catchy. It's like, I know what you did last summer when you were all alone, crying in your window, but I wouldn't pick up the phone. And it drops in like this screamo, like alternative kind of thing. And I just always heard it in my head, and I could see like me performing it live and just like throwing my hair when the beat drops and everything.
So your mind just kind of starts
it's
racing,
like,
and you just plan out the whole thing in that.
And then I'm trying to like put that onto a record.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a lot more tedious because you want the world to hear it, how you're feeling and how you see it in your head.
Yeah.
So it's like when I got the guitar down, and like I always took this from Prince, and I love Prince. He would take a lot of his first cuts, even if they were kind of,
not the best.
they weren't the best, because it's raw, it's real. You're a little nervous. You want to hit it, and sometimes you hit it perfectly on the first go.
Right.
And so I keep a lot of my first riffs, and it was the first riff, and I was like, I love it. So boom. Then I recorded the vocals on it, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I was like, well, I need to add more instruments to this. And instead of like calling people, because you know, everyone's got stuff going on. I don't like bothering people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. No, I get you.
And I'm just like, well, I'll just record the bass. And then so this project started to turn into like now it's not me like, you know, someone from QC sends me beats and then I rap on them and then I send them back. It was like, no, I have I'm watching every note as we're making this album, right? Yeah. That's why it's taken so long, man. It's like there's so much that goes into it. And like, it's for this song, I just remember, okay, cool. I laid the bass on it. Now I'm feeling happy. I'm like, I'm gonna put drums on it. Yeah. And so I did the drums. And like a lot of people think that I was like playing the drums. No, I'm using a keyboard. Like even for the alternative drums, man, and it's coming together so crazy. Okay. And like so like it hasn't come out yet, but the rollout process now is like me doing stuff like this, me talking about it, me getting into the environment again, telling people, yo, this is what I do, this is where I've been, this is some stuff I've done, like, you know, here's a checklist, and then boom. When it comes out, everyone's going to be like, kind of like prepared for it. It's not going to be like, whoa, this was out of nowhere. It's going to be like this. I'm softening it up.
Do you think you can succeed just going based on what sounds good to you, or do you always kind of have to implement what you think would make a hit, if that makes sense? Like how much percent is all, this is just what I want versus people probably won't vibe with this?
You know, I can't call it. It's a tough one.
Yeah?
Because you know what? I think, so at the end of the day, I will always make the decision.
Right.
For
sure.
Like at the end of the day, and it'll piss somebody off. You know what I mean?
No other way.
And
I've taken a thought you have though when you make music, like, would this sound good to, based on what people are listening nowadays?
Yeah, there is a lot of that does come into it because you want to relate to people,
right?
You know what I mean, right. And you want to keep sounds that are, I guess, relevant and that a lot of people are listening to. But again, you also don't want to think too much on it because then you're putting yourself in you're putting yourself in a lane,
right?
Which I try hard not to do, but I do. You just brought up a really good point, and I lost it.
It's I feel like it's very. You can get stuck. I don't know this, but I feel like you can get stuck, and this applies to a lot of different things and industries in life. Once something starts picking up, and it's not necessarily what you want to do, but it starts picking up, you get stuck in this loop of just trying to appeal to what the people want you to do.
Yeah, see, that's the tough thing. Like, it's like In-N-Out. In-N-Out knows it can sell burgers. You know, do they come out with a chicken sandwich? No, that's a risk. There's a risk to that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure is a risk.
I don't know. Like, I do feel people like Future hasn't changed. Future has not changed. I listen
to a lot of Future.
I do too. I think Future is great. And
he makes music every single day.
He doesn't have to change because he's cool with that. That's his lane. Everyone's okay with that, you know. it's like that's why I feel like I don't know. Kanye goes through so much. It's like because he
Yeah.
puts these expectations on himself.
For sure.
It's like you put your expectations to be the greatest on yourself, man. You're like
For
you're
sure.
trying to reach limits, even just like I don't know. We can go into Kanye all day, but anyway, circling back to like
Yeah.
I feel like I do at the end of the day make the decision because it's my art, but a lot of people are in my ear, which is good. Like I take like people in my camp, like my engineer Alex and like my partner Dizzy. Like if they say something, they're usually on point.
Okay.
I usually wouldn't I wouldn't debate with them.
Right.
When I send some stuff over to the labels, I listen, but I don't always go with what they say. That's why I'm not a signed artist.
Okay.
They help me with management. There's a difference. I have relationships rather than contracts.
For sure.
It's a lot easier that way because we were friends first,
For sure.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you would assume the label's just trying to milk you for as much money as possible. No, is that
When
always
you're
the case?
when you're worth it.
Okay.
If you're not, man, like once they have a product, they will sell it into the ground. That's for sure.
No
Like,
doubt.
I mean, how many Fast and Furious movies are there, dude? Like, when you have a product, they will run it into the ground.
For sure.
Just like the music industry, dude, they will exhaust all options. I think it's the wild wild west for sure. When streaming came into play, it anyone can go. Like, look, we got microphones right now.
Right.
We could write a record, bro, and somehow, if enough people listen to it,
It could be.
we
a
could
thing.
blow up.
It could be a thing.
It's
for sure.
that easy, but it's also that hard. Isn't
What
it
we
crazy?
live in.
It's
Social
like,
media
ugh.
just made it a whole new type of.
Yeah, I'm losing it on social media, man.
Yeah.
TikTok is hard, bro.
You think so?
I'm getting old, man. I don't know. I'm
Don't
young,
say
but I'm
that.
getting old, bro. Like I think I'm hot on Final Cut because I can do stuff with like green screen and like
Sure.
do some real cool animation, whatever. But the stuff these kids doing on like 15-second videos
It's
blows
wild.
my mind.
It's wild.
I'm
You
like,
see it all.
dude, what the heck? But you know, you gotta evolve. You know, you can if you ain't first, you're last. You know,
agree.
sit down or get ran over.
Man, the music industry just never ceases to like amaze me with all the nuances, the contracts, the royalties.
Yeah,
The-
and you
all
hear a
of
lot
that
of people
stuff.
they'll lash out. They'll talk about it. You know, Megan Thee Stallion hates her, whoever put her
Man,
on.
you saw a lot of stuff with Lil Wayne with his the whole
Oh
thing that was
God,
going
cat,
on.
all with Cash Money. I could go. God, that's, woo.
What would you say? I love to hear where people went wrong or bad decisions they made and what they've learned from it. What would you say the biggest lesson is in terms of your journey through the music industry and doing what you're doing right now?
Oh man, I think going into it and setting super high expectations.
What were those? What did you think?
I want a Grammy.
Okay.
I think that would be like a certification. Like,
sure,
hey,
yeah,
you
that's-
write dope songs.
that's an
You're a good
achievement.
art. You know what I mean? Like that's, and you know, some sold out shows. That would be like okay. You know what I mean? That is like that would be an accomplishment for me. I've sold out small venues.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I'm talking like SoFi, like Bad Bunny type stuff. You
Yeah,
know, like that's the
that's
stuff
where the
people
real
dream
money's at,
about.
yeah,
You know
for
what I
sure.
mean? That arena stuff.
Yeah.
And it's possible. You know what I mean? You know, I got cats that I'm friends with. It's like talk to them one day and then the next day they're on like the Rolling Loud stage. You know, it's like
Sure.
it's a real thing. People just get caught up on like the it's not possible for me. Like there's no way I could ever do it. It's like if you put yourself in situations and like you put yourself out there, like you will run into. Like that's how I ran into QC. Was literally I was in Atlanta and I would go to Atlanta from St. Louis and I would pull up and do open mics and they would be like, "Who are you?" Colin from St. Louis. Every time I would be by myself sometimes. I couldn't get people to like roll with me from St. Louis and I would go. And I was in everyone's ear and I was always in labels' ears. I was working with Hustle Gang for the longest time,
Hey.
which is that's Ti, salute Ti, and you know we almost worked together too. And it's like just
Okay.
building connections with people and like knowing
Relationships.
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like
For sure.
it's better to be cool with people than it is to be like working for people.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree with
it's
that.
like that's why like, you know, Lango, my manager, and like Baby Coast, those are my friends first. Like we were friends before this shit like got real serious. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. Relationships will take you a very long way.
Yeah.
No matter what you do. You can know it all, but if you don't know the right people, you're not going anywhere.
And it's maintaining those relationships. And also I think a lot of it has to go with, you know, because I'm an artist, man. Like I have a huge tendency to like you know, just to get real, like diagnose like you know, mental health, just various stuff. We don't got to get too into it.
For sure.
I'm not always the nicest guy to work with. You know what I mean? And that's why I've had to do a lot of stuff myself. But I think the thing with relationships is like when you grow in the industry and you learn that that's more important than like having an ego or trying to be like a rock star or be like, you know, something you're not, is like that humility. A lot more people respect humility in the industry than like acting like you're better than you are, you know? Because we've seen the Hollywood shit, man. Like you can come in like dripped out and like the most expensive shit ever. Like I've seen it, dog. I've seen the richest people wear Walmart shoes. Like it's
You tend to see that. You know?
it's you just
There's
it's
a
who you
movement
it's who you're around. It's who you're networking with. It's and then you know like you know if you burn a bridge, like being a man, like and coming back and being able to like recommunicate and like reconnect that, you know. I feel like that because it's really easy in the music industry for people to fall out. You hear about it all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like if more relationships like were instead of like sneak dissing like over the internet or like trying to like be the big like trying to be better like whatever better image, it's like we lose a lot of the like just like original like contact of like we were just making music together. You know what I mean? Like we were on some different shit. So it's big. I feel like a lot of the industry needs a lot more love, a lot more peace, a lot more understanding. Like it's turned into like there's a lot more guns, there's a lot more violence, man. It's a lot more angry, it's a lot more aggressive.
Yeah.
Like people want to like I'm gonna pull up with the Glock and shit. And it's like I don't know. That's why people when they're like freestyle, I'm like I don't think that's a good idea because I'm gonna end up talking about stuff like that's irrelevant, you know, like guns and like stuff like that, drugs or whatever. Because that's what freestyling is. You know, you just say random wild shit, you know?
Yeah.
It's off the top of your head. Like, do you expect it to be a story? Like, I don't know. Some people can do that, but...
Some people can, for sure. I think Lil Baby had one of the biggest freestyle numbers out there.
Yeah,
Isn't the song called Freestyle?
It's called Freestyle.
Yeah.
I think it's Freestyle. Yeah, he did. Yeah, that was
really
a
like
hit.
that song. That
And
was
then
a
I think he worked with Drake on that song. Brand
For
new
sure.
whip, got no keys.
No, not that one. It was another one.
No,
It's just
before
called-
it was the freestyle one, but
Oh,
after
okay,
the
gotcha.
freestyle one, that's when Drake picked him up, or not picked him up. I don't say that.
He
Drake
did a feature with him
did
on
the
the song,
feature,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Because Lil Baby is in his own lane. He's got a new documentary on Amazon. I highly recommend it. His story is incredible.
Definitely check that out.
Man, I can relate. You know, being like, man, I'm very antisocial sometimes. You know,
Okay.
like a lot of this is like a front. You know, it's a face, but like I spend a lot of time alone, and I like that. A lot of times it's me and my son.
I relate to that. Because sometimes a lot of external noise will do more bad than good, and it's good to be in tune with yourself, what you want out of life, and what your goals are, versus trying to, I call it being a sheep.
Yeah,
You
follower.
know, don't fall into the program and break out of the matrix. You don't want to do that. And also, for anyone watching this, I have watched some of your clips on social media. You go absolutely wild on the stage, dude. You be in there, you do your thing, and it's really cool to see that. It makes me smile. And I'll have your stuff on the screen so that people can check you out for sure.
No bad shots, bro.
I wanna. Were you always comfortable being in front of a lot of people like that, or is that something you had to get comfortable with? You know, can you tell me about your first time on the stage in front of a lot of people?
Oh
What
man,
was that like?
I was I'd have to ask my parents how old I was. I was
Oh, it was a while
10,
ago.
10
Snap.
years old.
Oh snap!
10 years old.
Uh-huh.
You know the St. Louis Cardinals baseball team, right?
I don't watch baseball, man.
What?
I'm not a baseball dude.
All
I'm
right,
I'm
so
a football, the real football.
Everyone from St. Louis is about to be so mad at you right
Oh,
now.
no.
Anyone from St. Louis.
Sorry, guys.
Anyway, so there's a
Just
baseball
don't.
team. They're called the
Okay.
St. Louis Cardinals.
Okay.
Basically, on opening day, it's like a madhouse downtown. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? Boom, crazy. There was an old pitcher. His name's Al Raboski, and he has a restaurant downtown. I forgot what it's called. But basically, there was this band playing, and anytime a band was playing, my dad or my aunt would always go to like the manager of the band or whatever and be
Yeah.
like, put him on the drums.
Sheesh. Okay.
And I swear to goodness, my dad was like, "All right, go." I was like, "No." There was so many people, bro. Like
Right.
we have
I
a
would
picture of
imagine.
it, bro. It's like literally like, he was like, "You know the song, go play it."
Uh-huh.
And I get up on stage and I'm like, and the drummer's still playing. I'm like, "What am I gonna do?" They're like, just wait. And I'm waiting. Song ends. And they're like, hey, man, this is Colin. He's going to play drums for us for this song.
Ooh.
I'm this yay high
Right.
kid, boy.
Super young.
Man, and I was just like, yeah, I am. And I got right behind that kid, bro.
Sheesh.
And I was like, what are we playing? He said, Fall Out Boy. I said, Sugar, we're going down? He said, yeah. I said,
Bro, you were already
and I
set for
took
this.
off, bro. And I swear, crowd went crazy, nailed the song like perfectly. And then it was like downtown, like whenever we would go to sporting events, like Rams games. Yes, the Rams used to be in St. Louis, if y'all don't remember. I know you don't watch sports or whatever. But yeah, so like after, Rams games,
Yeah.
any sporting event, man, anywhere that there was a band playing, whether it be my aunt or my dad or even like my mom, they would always be like, you got to put him on the drums. You'll get a bunch of tips. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
it's this little kid coming up playing at the bar, bro.
So you just grew into that.
Yeah,
that
it was weird because like with drums, like I could play anything.
Yeah.
It was weird, man. And I don't know, I still can. It's like I don't
Crazy.
even like you can give me like the first 3 seconds, I'll probably be able to just
Do
go
your
through it.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird talent. It's a gift. It's not even a talent, it's a gift. God bless me with that one.
That's crazy. Because I see you on that stage doing your thing, audience going crazy, and I'm like, what if you mess up? What if you forget something?
Oh, I
you know?
sure
like
have.
all these eyes looking at you, and you're just the spotlight.
Dude, I
It's-
think
it's
the
a whole
reason,
thing.
like, especially with like, okay, so that instance at the Cardinals game,
Mm-hmm.
that was crazy. That was obviously luck, a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I would feel a lot of like, man, I've done so many shows with no one there,
Mm-hmm.
so many shows with one people there, shows with hundreds of
But
people
you gotta
there.
go through that, you know?
And
The ups and downs.
that's where I feel a lot of like my learning to be comfortable on stage came. I was always comfortable on stage. Like I didn't need like that's my happy place. Like I'm able to turn up on stage regardless of who's watching. And that's always been my thing. But I feel like, like, man, I remember I was opening for this cat in St. Louis. And I went and made like this huge announcement because no one was coming to the stage. Like everyone was outside smoking cigarettes
Okay.
when I was about to go on, and I was like, okay, I want everyone to.
Pull up, come through.
Yeah, sorry. They texted me about soccer. How funny.
Look at
So
that.
yeah, they. So I went outside, and as soon as I said, "Hey, everybody," I got real small. I remember just being like, "What did I just do?
Yeah.
All eyes are on me. What am I gonna do?" And I got so nervous. I was like, "Come watch me! I'm about to rap." It's just I don't know what I said.
Oh,
It was
man.
whack though, and they were all like, "Yeah."
Sheesh.
So everyone was like, "Let's go watch this kid." You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And sure enough, man, I come out hot, boom, ready, blazing, energy, everything. Ran out so hot, unplugged my mic.
Man.
Was out there rapping with,
Doing your
literally looking like a fool, man. Walking around trying to find the mic cord, get it plugged in. Embarrassing. But you recover. Did the rest of the set, and I looked everyone straight in their eyes. What am I gonna do? What was I gonna do? Run?
Yeah, you got a point there. I mean, once you're in there, you gotta do your thing.
I feel like it put hair on my chest, if anything. Yeah. And then when I went on my first tour last year, literally almost like a year ago, and that's where I perfected the craft. That's where I perfected how to work people, how to like get your hands to go from here to here to here, like real
Yeah.
crowd control.
Wow, so you
You
really
know?
gotta craft up all those little strategies, know what
I
you're
had
gonna
so
do.
much practice. It was a
Gotcha.
show every night,
Okay.
and it was like, depending on the city, sometimes I would go a little bit harder for this one, or like I would use this one as like a practice, try some new material, and it was awesome because, again, I was in this stage of like not sure of like which music am I creating, like what am I creating for, like what do I want out of this? My son was just born, like there was a
Right.
lot happening, and a lot of experiences happened on that tour that like taught me how to live that lifestyle appropriately, and how to how to really professionalize yourself in that environment. Because when it comes to being on stage, you never know what can happen. Like there's hecklers, like there's people trying to make you like one city in New York. It was in New York. Dizzy will remember this. This dude, we were trying to do an acoustic version of "All Falls Down" by Kanye West.
Oh snap! Okay.
And this dude kept coming to the front of the stage, kept telling me he couldn't hear me, and he was drunk, so he was like saying it loud. I was like, "We can't hear you," We can't hear you.
Okay.
And like I'm trying my hardest just to like stay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then so like you gotta adapt. So like I started freestyling. I said, okay, the dude in the front, go to the back, you drunk. Like we're not
Okay.
having fun. You know what I mean?
Alright.
You have to play on that, and
Yeah.
then the crowd gets hyped.
Right.
And then you get, you crisis averted. But like back in my old days, I don't know if I would have been able to play. I would maybe try to like attack him or like be aggressive or offended when it's like, how do you make everyone have a good time?
Yeah,
It's more about
turn
it's more
negative
about
into
having a good
positive,
time
yeah.
than like trying to be negative. Because
Right.
no one's trying to promote anything bad. Everyone's just trying to have a good time, bro. At the end of the
sure.
day, even if you're rapping about gangster shit, like you're still just trying to have a good time.
As long as you're having a good time, good vibes.
We're all just trying to dance on the weekends, man. Meet some women, man. Whatever you're into, like
That's what it's about.
yeah, we're it's about have good times, man. Liquid Death sponsor us. we'll take it.
For sure. Any sponsor would be amazing right now. I want to end it off with this question, Colin. If you had $1 million right now, you can only spend it in your business. You can only use it to further your music career. What would that look like?
Oh man, ooh, untaxed or taxed? Am I getting that full
Million
milli?
cash.
Am I getting that full
You
milli?
get the full milli.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. God, because like my overall goal since I was like when I was younger is like, I struggle with addiction and like mental health. I don't know if I don't drink. I just
For sure.
I drink water, smoke a little weed.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm supporting Liquid Death. And I've always had those troubles like when I was younger, going through stuff like that and being in different like halfway houses or being in like juvenile detentions and stuff like that. I never really had a place to create. That's why whenever I say like I was down bad and I wasn't able to create, that's because I'm usually in
Gotcha.
like an environment where it's like, yo, I'm really down bad. Like,
I get you. No, I totally understand.
And I feel like a lot of creativity comes from a lot of people's lowest points. And if there was more access to that, then I feel like there would be a lot more healing and a lot more opportunity.
Okay.
And so like I had this idea back in St. Louis, and I never got to act on it, but it was really close to getting in production.
Sure.
And I wanted to do like a YMCA, like a music center.
Wow.
So
okay.
it's like, it's set up like there's setups like this, so like people can work on podcasting, people can work on like there's computers to make beats, like work with Apple to get like some computers in there, some iPads, do like kids programs, have kids making beats, have kids like learning how to podcast, rap, record, work with green screens, work with lighting, work with cameras, like basically like creative shit. Like I didn't have access to a lot of it when I was younger.
Sure.
And so like now I have access to whatever,
Right.
especially working at Apple, man, we can get anything.
Yeah,
I can get the
literally.
newest phone as soon as that stuff comes in.
For sure.
And I don't know. So like if I had $1 million, selflessly, I would
How would
probably
you
not
break it down all the way to zero?
I think a majority of it would go to funding a center for people.
Where they could go make music and
Yeah,
work
so
with that
like
stuff?
addiction, people with addiction issues, mental health,
Okay.
like a lot of that kind of stuff. Like focusing more on people's like mental struggles instead of like,
Okay.
so like something like that. So I feel like I don't know how much that would even really cost. So let's break off like 250,000.
Hey, we're
Cool.
at 750.
We're at 750. Damn.
Big crib with a studio in it,
No.
recording
I think
equipment.
no.
Not
I
even?
think minimalist would be the term I would
Minimalist?
use. Yeah,
Really?
I
So
would.
you'd keep
I would.
it in the bank.
I would. Yeah, I mean, so I would have it in places where it could potentially be making money. Like, I don't know. I think the first thing I would do. We was talking about franchises.
For sure.
Maybe like a McDonald's.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Boom.
Okay.
Cash every day. Boom. Because I'm thinking like, okay, a lot of people are like, I'm gonna take that money and I'm gonna go be a famous rapper. It's like, nah, man, it's still gonna take time. Like,
Yeah.
so like having that thing on the back end, like that McDonald's or whatever investment, like making that money while you're still pursuing your career is way smarter than just taking that milli and being like, I'm gonna get a feature from Jay-Z. I'm gonna get a Ferrari for the
Interesting.
music video. I'm gonna get the house, the crib. Like obviously, like if I have that much money, I'm gonna make sure my son and his mother are more than taken care of. That's obviously number one. My mom too, and my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
got to take care of the family. But with those expenses aside, like I'm pocketing all that. Like I have no reason to go spend a bunch of money. Like I do not live a crazy lifestyle. Like I'm literally I'm in the house bored. Like I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Like
I love that answer.
get me a marijuana tree and like a bunch of liquid death, bro, and I'm chilling,
You're
man.
just good?
I'm straight, yeah. And I think that's the problem. A lot of people have this like, what would I do with a bunch of money, man? Man, I'll probably have a panic attack. That's too much money for me, dog. Like
It is.
I would give away a lot. I would give away because I think that is what I always wanted. I always wanted to like. That's what the point of music was. I wanted to give it to you. It was like, you see what I'm feeling, bro? Like when I'm playing live, I want to give you that. I want to give you that energy.
For sure.
That's why I feel like live performance is so dope because like when you feel an artist that's singing a song like they wrote from scratch and they want you to feel it. I'm in the crowd and I
It's
feel
everything.
that. I'm like, I feel your energy, bro. I
that's
feel
amazing.
that. And that's why, man, there's nothing like performing live. Love that.
I love that. I love your answer because I feel like a lot of people would inflate their lifestyle to match how much money they have. And when you do that, you still are at a neutral level where now you have all these fancy cars, fancy things, big crib, big house, but you're still in the same place in your career,
Right.
And if you fall, now you have all these expenses that you need to take care of. You have all these, this, all of these little things you have to keep paying for. And I love that you mentioned you will keep most of that money to take care of your living expenses in order to free up that time to focus on your music.
Because if you circle back, man, all I
Yeah.
want to do is create. That's all I
all.
want to do, man.
I
If the
love that.
if the bank's good and I don't gotta go to work, man, I'm gonna make albums after albums. That's why I think Future just in the crib, just like
Yeah.
play a beat, man. Because he could. That's what he could. And that's the lifestyle I think everybody want. I think you just have to be. You have to be just like. That's why I'm glad we're doing a financial aspect of it instead of just like, why are you a rapper? Why do you do this? It's a lot more.
For
It's
sure.
so it
gets
goes so
much
deep.
deeper. It
Yeah.
goes much deeper. Hey, man. It was amazing having you here. Thank you so much for talking us through what the music industry looks like. Check out Colin's stuff. I'm gonna leave everything in the description and out here on the screen. He's amazing. Check him out. Yeah, Colin. What do you want to close it off with? What do you want to tell the people?
That's heavy. I just want to say thank you. Been working hard, man. A lot of stuff coming out. So,
For sure.
cheers, Liquid Death.
Cheers
We
to
need that sponsor.
Yes, sir. We out.
Peace.